everybody. Happy Monday and greetings from very snowy and cold Lincoln, Nebraska. And I am not going to lie, this weather makes me super angry, and I wish that I was flying to Australia tomorrow, but I am not. I have to wait 3 weeks, which at this moment feels very terrible. Anyhow, having said that, last week I talked to you about how I booked my airfare for $757 round trip and then ended up getting that airfare for free. And this week I am going to talk to you about how I decided where I am going to stay when I am in Australia. So, first thing to remember is my budget for room was $800. So I had $800 that I was willing to spend when it came to where I was going to stay for 6 nights. And when I am on the road, I love to stay at Holiday Inns. Usually they're pretty nice. They have the same beds, they're comfortable, amenities are great, all of that jazz. So of course, when I was looking at places to stay, I started at the Holiday Inn. And here's what I found. The Holiday Inn Express in downtown Sydney was $179.10 a night. So for me to stay at the Holiday Inn, my total was going to be $1,074.59. It does not take a math genius to realize that if I were to book that room, I would be $300 over budget, and I am just not going to do that. So I started looking at other options. Because I stay at the Holiday Inn often, I have a lot of IHG points. And wouldn't you know that the Holiday Inn has a points plus cash option? So I decided to play around with that. And here's what I discovered. If I went with the Holiday Inn points plus cash option, my room dropped from $179 a night to $130, making my total stay $805. Now at this point, we should be super stoked. Like, hooray, I met my budget. This is amazing. It is done. Except I did a little bit of math. So when I was researching staying at the Holiday Inn Express, 40,000 points equaled 1 full night. So in other words, my monetary value of 40,000 points was $179. Now, when I went to the points plus cash option, my 40,000 points were no longer worth $179. They were actually worth $78 total. So what that means is that if I were to use the points plus cash option, I lose $100 worth of value because I am using points plus cash. So hopefully that makes sense. A full night stay is 40,000 points. When I use the points plus cash option, my points value drop from $179 to $78. So for me to lose nearly $400 worth of value by using the points plus cash option, this no longer became an option. I would rather save those points when I can use them at their highest value. So then I had to figure out what I'm going to do. And this should not surprise anyone. I went with Airbnb, where for my full stay, I will be paying $642.99. So yes, when it came to my Australia trip, Airbnb won. Now, a couple of things about why I chose Airbnb. First off, Airbnb has this new thing called Airbnb Premier. And what that means is that these locations have been verified to ensure quality. So some of you have probably heard horror stories about staying in an Airbnb, like where they were stuck in a nasty room that smelled like cat urine. That is not the case when it comes to qualified or Airbnb preferred rooms. So the first thing that I did was I picked out a place that was Airbnb preferred, so I knew I'd be staying in a nice location. The second thing that I did was I researched transportation around Sydney and found out that they have exceptional transportation. And I made sure that the Airbnb that I was staying at would be next to a bus, a ferry, a train, or something like that, so that when I actually needed to get into downtown Sydney, I would be able to do that easily. And then finally, kind of my last genius move when it came to Airbnb is check-in wasn't until 3 o'clock. And my flight lands at 8 a.m. And so with this particular Airbnb that I was staying at, if you booked for 7 nights, you got a 10% discount. I'm only staying for 6, but if you booked for 7, you got a 10% discount. Given how early my flight gets in, I did not feel comfortable emailing the host and saying, hey, I know your check-in time is at 3, but can I go ahead and check in like 12 hours early? Like, that's just not appropriate in the Airbnb world. So instead what I did was I emailed them and I said, hey, I noticed that if I book an extra night, I get a 10% discount. I won't be coming in until the morning of the 8th, but because I'll want to shower and collect myself and figure out my game plan for that day, would you be opposed to me booking that extra night and receiving the 10% discount? Of course, they wrote back and said, oh my gosh, we love that idea. Yes, absolutely. And with that discount, that extra night only cost me $30. And here's why that matters. Sometimes when you're doing international travel, you want to get a full day of tourism in, and your flights do get in anywhere between like 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. And it might be worth it if you go the Airbnb route to reach out to the host, and instead of asking for an early check-in, simply ask them like, hey, if I paid you an extra $30 or an extra $25 or whatever would be appropriate, can I go ahead and have the room ready the night before so that when I come into town, I am able to take a shower, relax, rest, and all of that before I go start my trip. So anyhow, that is how I chose to stay at Airbnb. I am super excited. The more I plan about Australia, the more just like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even wait to get on the plane. So having said that, the next video that I will be doing is talking to you all about how I plan my excursions. I actually believe that when it comes to planning excursions, this is the most authentic part of your trip, right? This is going to be what makes or breaks. This is going to be the stories that you tell the rest of your life. And so I'm actually really, really excited to talk to you and walk you through how I found my excursions and how I figured out what my itinerary was. So until then, please stay warm, please stay dry, please stay safe, and please, if you are in someplace sunny right now, don't tell me because I will be super, super jealous. So anyhow, until then, bye y'all.